Hey guys, welcome to Octavology. My name is Scott Gailor. I am one of the artists in charge, for lack of a better term. And I'm here today to do a demo / review of the Boss Katana guitar head. This is the first time I'm actually doing an online review. 99% of the time I just do demos and lessons and licks and tricks and that kind of things. So I'm just going to be straight and honest with it. Right out front, I did a tour for Boss on the Waza Katana store tour. Did a bunch of GCs through Ohio, Nashville, Tennessee, and Florida. So I want to get that right out there so nobody's watching the video going, oh, well, you're giving it a review based on the fact that you did work for Boss. No, I have multiple jobs. I'm a musician, and we have to kind of stretch our dollars the way we can. I do gigs, I teach, and do all sorts of stuff. So enough of all that fun stuff. This is all about the new Boss Katana. This is the 100-watt head. This is really the working man's amp. This is a great, you can play covers with it, you can play originals with it, you can go out on the road with it. It's small. I flew all 18 of those dates with this in a carry-on suitcase that went, actually, thank you to all the airlines, had to go underneath. So it got the hell kicked out of it and came back just fine. No box for it, no nothing. I had it wrapped in t-shirts and jeans that I had with me. So pretty cool. Now, just to kind of jumpstart it, if you know how to program, say, a Mustang or a Line 6 or save a sound, then you already know how to use the Katana. It's pretty simple. It has a button on the top, which I'm going to show later on in the video, but you hold the button down, the buttons flash, the program save. There's nothing groundbreaking or new on that. I have stored 4 sounds, and I'm going to go through those pretty quick. Now, the good news is you can use this as a standalone head, just a head by itself, just like you would any other head. Put effects in the effects loop, drive it with an overdrive, do whatever you want to do with it. Put a fuzz out front. It is actually really responsive to fuzz pedals, considering that it's a solid-state head. Now, the cool thing with this is the price point, $350. Yes, I said $350, and it's 100 true watts. So if you put this 100 watts versus a 100-watt tube head, you're not going to get that drop-off in volume. You're going to be able to cut live or in a band situation, something that I know a lot of solid-state heads struggle with. I had that problem initially with another manufacturer I won't mention, that I played the amp at home and loved it, and I thought, wow, okay, I'm going to go with some solid-state amps live just because of wear and tear and travel, and then got to MD rehearsals, and it didn't work. It didn't cut through. So first thing I'm going to play you is the clean sound. Now, all these sounds in here are stock. I haven't modded or changed anything other than save a preset that I liked. So I'm using a Fender Mexican Tele with Tex-Mex pickups with a Seymour Duncan hot rails, some sort of fancy cloth custom wiring harness thing with a 50s orange drop in there. So let's get all that out of the way. And this is just to clean. We've got really nice reverb. Now, the reverb I chose on this is the red. So this is just a spring reverb. So really nice, bouncy. The spring is really cool on it. Let's say I wanted to add delay. I'd go to the second knob. And in this case, I'm going to use an analog delay, and a fairly long one at that. So there it is. So really cool on that. Now, if I don't want to save it, I just hit my button again. Right? I go to one channel, come back into it. It's not saved. But if I did want to save it, I would just hold the button down and it would be saved. So next up is going to be this is called the Brown sound. We all know where that comes from. That's Mr. Eddie Van Halen. And this is based on, that kind of classic Marshall Variac turned up to 10, melt the speaker kind of tone. Now, there's no other pedals involved in this. This is just the head. I'm running through a Mesa Boogie 212 cabinet with vintage 30s in it. It's a Recto cab, stock cab from, I don't know, I think maybe 2000? I don't know. I've had it quite a while, and it's mic'd up with a 57 and an Audio-Technica F15, so pretty straightforward setup. Pretty much my recording setup all the time. Now, I've got a tiny bit of boost on this from the... Oh, no, actually I don't. This is raw. There's nothing on here. There's no effects from the setting at all. So, I mean, that is pretty convincing for anybody who thought, oh, I can't play a solid state amp. That is actually really killer. This is channel number 3 for me. Now, this is the crunch sound. This is your classic plexi half-throated sound. So what I did is the amp is wide open, so to speak. The volume on the setting is on 10 inside the patch. And then the preamp gain is right around 2 or 3, just like you know, run an old Marshall, kind of push it. So you know, it's just that throaty. It's just that big throaty sound, which I dig. It's really, it's open, and again, that now plays really nice if I want to add an overdrive pedal to it. If I want to put like you know, I got a Boss DS1, which is the new black distortion. What do I got over here? I got the SD1W Waza. I mean, I could throw some stuff out front and really make this gnarly. Gonna do that later on, but just, again, we're running through patches. Now, the last setting is my lead sound, and it is marked lead on here. And it's kind of that old school Steve Lukather, Michael Landau 80s studio sound in a real lush setting. I have a little bit of delay on here, I have a little bit of reverb on here, and I have a tiny bit of overdrive, and the overdrive is based on the Boss SD1. So this is another cool fact. When you go to get other heads, say other manufacturers, they're simulating someone else's pedals. These are the Boss pedals inside the head. So imagine if you spent $350 in Boss pedals, you still wouldn't have everything in here, and you wouldn't have a head. Well, kind of cool. So here we go. And that is everything that is actually inside the amp itself. Now, the other cool factor, which I'm going to show later, is this Footswitch. This Footswitch is $100. It is a 6-button Footswitch. So the 4 buttons are for the presets when you turn in a channel. So let's say I turn back on that lead channel, right? And I want to be able to edit sounds in it. So there I turned off the overdrive. And there I turned off the delay. So pretty cool. And this is, again, what I'm using right now is purely just the pedal itself. There is nothing going on the floor in the effects loop, and there's no, I know I got my Boogie sitting behind me and nothing's hooked up. I know how the internet works. There's going to be somebody like, no, that's something else. Nope. This is all the Katana. So this is kind of cool. I'm going to kind of pull this up. This comes with the head itself on there, and you know, the Katana of course means sword. So for your Walking Dead fans, this is the Michonne head. I'm sure I'm going to get hell for that. All right, so you got factory effects on here. You've got a boost setting and a mod setting on the first line of effects. You have a delay and then an FX, which is going to be any sort of modulation effects. Wah is in there also, like an auto wah. There's octave, plate reverb, spring reverb on the reverb side. So you're going to have all those cool things to play with. Now, one of the things I really love about this, and I'm going to go back to the lead channel, I'm going to add my octave effect, which if you can see this, and if not, you can go on there. When I go to the second channel, so I'm going to lose the delay on this for a minute, but when I go to the second channel of this, the delay FX, I'm going to use the yellow button, or actually what they're calling the orange button. Honestly, it looks yellow to me, but we're calling it orange. So we're going to use the orange button to activate the Boss octave pedal. And this sounds really great considering everything that goes into it. I mean, it is literally built in head. So this, that is so this is the octave end of it. This is really cool. So this is the octave into the lead channel. So octave sound, again, if I don't want to save that, I can just not have it. Actually, we can go back and add that Ottawa thing. And you can do this on any of the channels. It's not just this channel. You can add it to any channel, which is cool. Let's add it to something different here. Let's see what we got. So again, really fun stuff. You can do so much with it. And at this price point, I don't really think there's anything that can touch it. So if you're a working musician, gigging musician, you know, you don't want to have $5,000 worth of gear out at your cover gig, playing some, especially, I'm in Florida. You play some crazy gig out in Florida where it's outdoors on some waterway and it's raining like it is today. Obviously, you can't see it because my studio is completely blacked out, but it's raining like a mother today. And you had to play an outdoor gig, your gear would get soaked or something would get wet, or your crazy expensive pedal board would get smoked. This is, I could roll out to a gig with a 212 or a 112, which I've got one around here somewhere, and this head, and I'd be good to go. So as far as the review goes, I think the tones are really solid. I think the gain feels right. It moves air correctly. It has that punch. The only thing that's really lacking, and you can program that in there, is a compressor. So if you want to really do some country stuff, you know, that kind of... compressor kick yet, but you can probably program that in through the software. There is a free software that you can go into the back of this through USB and edit your sounds the way you want to. You can also record directly out of this, or this recorded simulated out, which is basically a 412 with, I believe, Vintage 30s mic'd with an SM57 off axis. At least that's what it sounded like to me when I used it. Pretty cool. The other part of it, you have an effects loop in it that sounds really great, and I'm going to do a few more videos. So I'll do a video that kind of covers it running it as a head. I'm going to do a video running it where it covers it as, you know, using other manufacturers' pedals with it and that kind of stuff. So again, if I'm going to do you know, an Octavology review, you know, standard of excellence kind of thing, I definitely give this a 9 out of 10, or, you know, 4.5 stars. And the only thing that doesn't make it perfect really comes down to, for me, I think the Footswitch should come with the head, some sort of price package point, because it really makes a difference on the head. I think it's a necessary thing. One last thing, though. I'm going to do something which most people would cringe at. I'm unplugging the speaker cable right now. So there's no speaker cable in here. Okay? And so you're only going to pick this up on my lav mic. Okay? So we're going to turn up some things here. You can play this through a little 5-inch speaker here. So as you're practicing at home, or if you're leaving your, you know, you've got a big cab that you leave at your practice space and you want to bring this home to practice at home, obviously, you can plug in your iPad or your whatever you have through the back, play MP3s through it, have something to jam to, have something to play through. Again, man, $350. Where was this when I was, you know, playing the clubs and dragging around a bunch of this crap? Whoop, that's pedals. A bunch of these heads and craziness. So, again, 9.5, 4.5 stars, 9.5 out of 10. I don't know how the rating systems work. I'll let Jack and Rosario kind of fill me in on all the details on that. So, this is my first run at this for Octavology. I hope you enjoyed it. I know I did. Go to octavology.com. It's really for the working musician. You can go to ToneJunkieChronicles.com, which is my website, which is all gear-related, lesson-related stuff. You can also go to scottgailor.com if you want to see what I'm up to, where I'm going to be, if I've got new product out, and all that. So thank you for checking this out. Thank you for taking the time. Big shout-out to everybody at Boss for letting me do this. This is a great product, and I really, really enjoy it. I'm looking forward to really putting some miles on this. Stay tuned soon. There's going to be a video, again, going over the effects loop, going over using different pedals other than Boss, and just a general overview of different things you can do where you can use it just as a head as opposed to a 4-channel type unit. All right? Thanks. This is Scott Gailor signing off. Peace.